classmates. Good afternoon, Doc. Hello. I am Terence Catherine Stephanie Argapo, licensed professional teacher, Group 3 reporter for Session 6. My report today is about COVID 19, higher education, challenges, and responses. Before I begin my report, I will give a brief introduction of what and how it all began. In December 2019, a viral outbreak of pneumonia of unknown origin occurred in Wuhan, China, and on January 9, 2020, the World Health Organization officially announced the discovery of a novel coronavirus, or what they commonly known as SARS-CoV-2 or CoV-2. This new virus is the pathogen responsible for the infectious disease called COVID-19 or coronavirus disease. COVID-19 spread quickly around the world and was declared a pandemic by the World Health Organization on March 11, 2020. As of April 1, 2020, already more than 3.4 billion people, representing 43% of the world population, were in lockdown in more than 80 countries and territories around the world. The lockdown and social distancing measures immediately had an enormous impact on higher education. Well, I went to China prior to COVID-19, and I want to share with you, classmates and Doc, my experience. So, my China experience was from December 2 to 5, 2019, so before ni siya COVID, and let me share to you my first-hand experience sa lugar sa China. So, dito mi landing sa Shanghai, and then from Shanghai, we had a 3-hour bus road trip going to Hangzhou. So, ang final destination was Hangzhou, and I will show you a video clip of our travel. So this is Shanghai. This is the city of Shanghai in China. So ang ilaang mga balay dito, as you can see, are in townhouses type. So kanina ko ng mga townhouses type dito po sila ang mga middle and lower classes.
For today, we don't have too much arrangement, so we just finished lunch and then we are going to hotel. We have 3 hours drive from Shanghai to Hangzhou. 3 hours.
3 hours drive.
So it's a long ride. So before we leaving, you better go to the bathroom, okay? Better go to the bathroom, yeah. And our hotel, I think you all know that.
Go to the bathroom before we will leave the bus because it's a 3-hour bus ride. So this is my Shanghai and Hangzhou pictures. So yan, I really love it. Yeah, so winter to siya to na time. It was 2 degrees. I think 2 degrees siya to. So cold good siya, and then prior sa ako ang flight na ako'y gi-intake na immunization vitamins na naka-boost sa akong immune system because gikan dinhi sa Philippines kuan ta dinhi 36 degrees, 37 degrees or 38 degrees, so init, and pag abot dito 2 degrees, so I need to take immune vitamins para pag abot na ko dito dili din ko sipunon, hilantanon or whatever na reason. So na-share na ko ni is because during that time uso gid ang sipon dito because tugnaw gid siya, and I believe one of the reasons na nag-spread ni siyang coronavirus, actually it's just a flu, tungod kay ang weather nila dito, it's really cold. Yes. So, let me go on. So, the impact on education and in particular higher education. So, as you can see in the picture, these are all vacant seats and tables, and a person is wearing a mask. So, during the pandemic, so particularly higher education, most of us are in virtual meetings, Google Meets, webinars, and outsourcing social media. So, what is the future of higher education? So, as we can see right now, we are evolving from the normal face-to-face, classroom to classroom, four walls of the classroom. We are now into virtual classroom like Google Classroom or Zoom. So, makita nato na ang atoang future in higher education dili lang di ay taman sa classroom na naay chair, naay table, naay whiteboard, but also in virtual approach like this. So, though we are adjusting, but it is now the necessary thing or the necessity thing to do. And before enrollment last March, last summer, March man to ata nung nag-summer ko sa medical. Daghan kay nag-ingon na mag-protest na mag-academic freeze, pero wala din na stop ang education because education is always changing and evolving. And maski pag naay pandemic, dili siya dapat ma-freeze into that sense because valuable kayang education into every person na gusto mag-aim og higher and greater endeavors and boundaries up in the future. So much as I've said. So because of this pandemic, the internet industry has never been overly used as it is today. So in fact, it is to the extent that it is an important as a commodity such as food that every household must need to have if possible. So the internet is like our food, like our water, like our electricity. It's part of our necessity na. So para na siyang we cannot live without, because if, for example, a few months ago daghan kay itang mga blackouts. So murag ang akatong world murag nag-end. So kung walay internet, walay Facebook, walay Zoom, walay Google Meet, walay Google Classroom, wala tanan. So karon siya na time na grabe kaayo ang booming sa internet because of this lockdown and pandemic. So here I have a picture. The word pandemic is emphasized, and COVID, and then people, time, government, economy evolves around the internet and evolves with COVID, the pandemic, and everything. So nagtuyok-tuyok lang gid dinhi. So naay dangerous, na po siya negative, na po siya difficult, understand, started, economic person, vaccine, online. So muna siya ang mga description of the word health, pandemic, COVID sa mga various klase-klase na mga tao na naka-experience sa pagkakaroon aning pandemic. Alright. Now, according to UNESCO, okay, on April 1, 2020, schools and higher education institutions, or HEIS, were closed in 185 countries, affecting 1.5 billion, 42 and 412,000 learners, which constitute 89.4% of total enrolled learners. So grabe ni ana kadaghan ang naapektuhan sa pag-close o sa pag-lockdown or sa pag-undang sa face-to-face learning. So in order to understand, okay, better, and in order to understand the disruption caused by COVID-19 on higher education, and to investigate the first measures undertaken by higher education institutions around the world to respond to the crisis, the International Association of Universities here, or the IAU Global Survey, conducted two subsequent versions, which is number one in October 2020, when the new academic year or semester, and one in 2021, when hopefully the pandemic will be over. So naa sila survey, global survey. So I will show you later the results of that survey. So the aim of the third survey will be to monitor the long-term impact of the pandemic on higher education. So IAU Global Survey on the impact of COVID-19 on higher education was made available online and open from March 25 until 17 of April 2020. So online ni siya gikandak na survey. So what makes the IAU Global Survey unique is that it tries to capture a description of the impact of COVID-19. Okay, so ang nag-participate ani is 576 replies from 424 universities and other higher education institutions based in 109 countries and 2 special administrative regions of China, which is Hong Kong and Macau. Alright. So these are the profile of the respondents. So first is the Americas, okay, the Africa, Asia and Pacific, of course, we are included, and Europe. So among the respondents, okay, 15% of which is from Americas, 21% of which is from Africa, 17% of which is from Asia and Pacific, and 46% of which is from Europe. Okay. Now, the positions of the respondents are as follows. So, mostly faculty members, which is 20%, head of institution like directors, directress, dean, which comprises 17%, and head of international offices, which is 16%, which is the Minister of Education, and so on. Alright, so this is the figure, so position of the respondents to the survey. So 17% of the head of institution, okay, responded, and then next is the deputy head of institution, which is comprising 9%. The registrar is 3%, the dean is 3%, head of department 7%, head of international office 16%, head of other administrative office 3%, staff member in international office, which is 11%, faculty member, of course, which is 20%, PhD student 2%, student 2%, other administrative functions 5%, and others 2%. So the most people who responded the survey are the faculty members, the head of institution, and the head of international offices. So how this come into form? So si faculty member, of course, they will inform their head, like their dean or their directress or director, because this is an online survey, so they will forward the emails or the survey form to their senior or to their heads. That's why ang 20% sa faculty, duol lang siya sa head of institution, which is 17%. And of course, here is the head of international office. So sa atin, which this is the DepEd superintendent, and so on. Now, so this is a general assessment of COVID-19 impact on higher education. So among all countries that was conducted, Africa is the region with the highest percentage of HEIS. Okay, or the higher education institutions with campuses closed because of COVID-19. So, ang Africa daw ang pinakadaghan na nag-close during COVID-19. So, this is the figure. So, COVID-19 pandemic affected your institution. So, how? So, ingon sa survey, 1% of which said our institution is open as usual, no special measures in place for COVID-19, which is not true because may social distancing and of course wearing mask, and they are skeletal during that time. Okay. Labi na to mga first few months during the pandemic. 10% of which they said our institution is open as usual, but excuse me, containment measures have been put in place to avoid spread of COVID-19. So, na siya mga hand washing, mga thermal scan, sanitizer, alcohol, etc. 30% comprises, the survey said, our institution is partially open but there are major disruptions, of course. So, ano mga changes, like they cannot go there na naa siya schedule, naa siya kanang time, naa siya social distancing, daghan na siya og mga dapat major major changes, or as according to here disruption. So dili pareha sa una. And 59% of which says all campus activities have stopped and the institution is completely closed, which is far beyond with IMCC, because we are still open, so we are partially open, so we belong here to the 30%. So naalan siya mga major disruptions like paying online, going there by schedule, and then thermal scan, social distancing, and then hand washing, so on, face shield, face mask. So nata sa 30%. Wala gid siya totally na stopped. Right. Now, COVID-19 effect on teaching and learning. Okay. So these results show that 2/3 of HEIS or higher education institutions were able to move teaching online, okay, while 1/3 was not. Compared to basic education like kindergarten, elementary, and so on, higher education institution was able to move 2/3 online. So katong mga nagpursige gyud na ma-enroll during the pandemic, one ato is ako, naka-move ta online, naka-enroll ta through online platform, while 1/3 was not. So I don't know kung pila ka schools ang nag-open during that pandemic online, pero isa ta sa IMCC na nag-open. However, the majority of these higher education institutions are working on developing solutions to continue teaching online. Okay, so nag-develop pagid ta, ga-evolve. So, how has COVID-19 affected teaching and learning? So, nag-survey na po si Global AUI, IAU. Okay, so nag-survey na po siya. Ingon ang 2%, it is not affected, which is, of course, it is affected. And 67%, it says, classroom teaching has been replaced by distance teaching and learning. Okay, so kita na to. And 24%, most activities are currently suspended, but the institution is working on developing solutions to continue teaching and learning through digital or self-study means. So, ka-develop paghihapon ang 24%. While 7% teaching has been cancelled. Okay, so, cancelled good. Wala good as in zero. So we belong here in the 67%. Right. So as we continue, so the same effects of teaching and learning. So of the survey here, 22% says, do you believe COVID-19 will affect enrollment numbers for the new academic year? 22% says no. Okay. 27% answered yes, but only for international students. 5% of which says yes, but only for local students. And the majority, 46% answered both for local and international students, which we also belong. Okay. So according to source here of Digital 2020, July Global StatShot. There you go. Okay. So the year-on-year change in essential indicators of digital adoption or the global digital growth during July 2020. So this was we were experiencing pandemic by March, and then April, May, June, July. So this was 5 months during the pandemic era. So according to Global StatShot that was conducted last July 2020, among the total population of 81 million, okay, from July 2020 versus July 2019, it added to 1.1%. Okay. And of which, among the 121 million from July 2020 versus July 2019, it added to 2.4% unique mobile phone users. So among the 121 million, nagdugang pagyud og 2.4 million na at 2.4% na mobile phone users. So for example, akong illustrates isa ka pamilyahan wherein there are 5 na apag ginadugang na duha ka gadgets na mobile phone users. So murag nag-add on siya sa additional na gadgets sa family. Alright. So tungod kay pandemic, so walay lingaw, walay kabisihan, walay buhaton ara sa balay gapundo. So murag mao na to siya ang pandugang na pang cope or coping mechanism. And here the internet users from July 2020 versus July 2019, from 346 million, it added to 8.2%. So nadungagan pa gyud ang mga internet users. So katong walay internet sa una, nagka-internet ahat-ahat tungod sa pandemic. And active social media users of 376 million of the same duration, July 2020 versus July 2019, it added to 10.5%. So, nagkadaghan ang mga social media users because of the pandemic. So, maski 2 years old, 1 year old, nanay mga Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, TikTok account. So, the same survey conducted by Global StatShot last July. Alright, so, ang daily time spent with media, okay, it was, okay, nasa na yun? Alright, so daily time spent with media, wait, hold on. According to the same survey of Global StatShot conducted last July 2020, the daily time spent with media, the average amount of time each day that internet users aged 16 to 64 years old spend with different kinds of media and devices. So we are all guilty of this. So using the internet, okay, we are spending 6 hours and 42 minutes. So naay uban more than pa 6 hours, siguro 12 hours a day or the whole day good. And then using social media, so we spent, according to the survey, they spent 2 hours and 22 minutes. And then watching television, 3 hours and 22 minutes. So naiuban ang ilaang internet or ang ilaang social media or ilaang streaming connected sa television. So nahulog siya na television gihapon ang iyaang media na gigamit. But of course, nagyapon siya internet because it is the highest among all the media na ginagamit during July 2020. So listening to music streaming services, 1 hour and 31 minutes. And using a games console, 1 hour and 10 minutes. Okay. Now, during COVID-19, July 2020, digital's role in helping people cope. Excuse me. So, percentage of survey respondents who report that internet-connected technologies have helped them with each activity. So, these are the reasons of helping people cope. So, out of 83%, helps me cope with COVID-19 related lockdowns in general. And 76% of which helps with my children's education. 74 helps me stay in touch with friends and family. Kaya tungod lockdown, so naara sa Facebook or Zoom or any platform, Google Meet, Twitter, whatever, na maka-communicate with family and friends. Or WeChat or WhatsApp or Viber. 67% helps me do my job, okay? 65% helps me keep my children entertained and engaged because mga bata dili ka gawas, dili ka tugmol, so sa cellphone naga engaged or ma-entertain. So 45% helps me with my shopping. So nanay online online grocery or e-grocery or e-shopping, e-commerce. And then 44% helps me get groceries from food stores. 43% helps improve my mental health and well-being. 41% helps me access doctors and healthcare. Okay. 40% helps me keep fit and exercise. Murag din hinauso ang mga TikTok, mga sayaw-sayaw na mga zumba-zumba sa during this time kay walay mga lingaho. And 29% helps me improve my income and finances. Okay, so I can relate on this survey as well because number one, helps me keep in touch with friends and family. And number two, helps me keep fit and exercise. Okay. Also, my child was entertained and engaged. And finances, yes, it is true because during pandemic nauso tong plantito. So nauso pud tong mga post ug mga tanom. So isa ko ato na apil og baligya. So during pandemic, diri ko sa Palao nagstay before. So ako ang tig-post o mga pictures, mga tanom, din akong i-deliver door to door sa ilang mga balay, and then murag naingan nyo pud kog magtanom-tanom that time. So isa ni siya na naka-improve sa mong finances ato na time kay wala may other means of income. Okay. So naka-help pud siya in a way ang internet. Okay, moving on. So people spending more time with devices. Okay, so na-klase-klaseng devices din hi. So each device is reported spending more time during or due to COVID-19. So number one here with the figures of 70% is smartphone or mobile phone. So everyone is hooked with their mobile phones. The second figure is the laptop or computer, 47%. The third one is 33%, which is the PC or desktop computer. 23% is the tablet device. Smart TV or media streaming device, which is 32%. Games console, 18%. Smart speaker, 14%. And the least is smartwatch, which is 9.1%. Okay. So, karon tungod kay we are doing distance learning, so a gadget na nice smartphone katong na internet connection, maka wifi, maka-download og apps like Google Meet, Zoom, Classroom, and then makapaminaw ka sa mga lectures. Excuse me, smartphone or mobile phone is very necessary in this distance learning. Alright. Now, moving on. So, overview of global internet use. So, among the 4.57 billion, the total number of global internet users, okay, ning anak kadaghan, 59% internet users as a percentage of total global population, 8.2% or 346 million annual growth in the number of global internet users, and average amount of time per day spent using the internet is 6 hours and 42 minutes. So every day, mura na tag na hook. Alright. So 3 takeaways, okay, of what I have discussed a while ago. So number 1, social media as a layer that runs through everything that people do, both online and in the physical world. So naging layer na gid siya, kumbaga part of our life na gid ang social media. Di na gid ato siya matangtang. Or the second is digital hasn't replaced TV. So misconception ni siya na wala na ang TV. Of course, dapat Japon ang TV, pero mas ni high-end ang TV karon na siya smart TV. Working from home likely won't replace the office. Of course, office is still the office, but different putong working at home. And e-commerce won't replace all physical stores. Mangita gyapon ta og mall og tindahan, even though naa na siya Shopee, Lazada na mga online stores na ginabaligya karon, pero dili gyapon siya ma-replace og physical stores. Lahi man gud to imo gyud magunitan and then paliton kaysa atong imo lang nakita sa picture then aha nimo magunitan inig maabot sa imong doorstep. And of course, the last is people's behaviors are evolving, and it's important to understand how these changes will impact demand for your brand's products and services. So, ang education ani services, as well as how you'll need to adapt your marketing activities to achieve maximum efficiency and effectiveness. So, nag-evolve gid ang ato ang behavior sa matag changes sa aning distance learning nato karon. So, thanks for listening. Any questions? If none, thank you so much and have a good day to all.